everybody, I got one for you today. This is going to be one that'll create a lot of conversation. Did you know that in 2024, the North Carolina Bar Association delivered an ethics opinion representing that no more double closings take place on the same day? What does this mean? If you are one of those agents where you close your seller's home in the morning and that seller turns into a buyer in the afternoon, that is not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is flippers and wholesalers. So there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, the second closing attorney needs some time to do title search. And if the title has not been recorded until earlier that day, there may not be a way to see everything that's been recorded in the title process. So that's number one. The second piece of it is the Good Funds Settlement Act. Let's say that the buyer, that's the person that's closing this, uses a check in order to close the first property, and then their intent is just to wire their proceeds to the second closing. Well, that can't happen when a check's written because it has to be it has to be what is called irrevocably credited funds, meaning that the check has cleared. And in order for that check to clear, it may be a 10-day seasoning period in the escrow account. So it may not be able to be used yet. So that's the second piece of it. The other issue is with assigned contracts. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission has been watching flippers for a while now, flippers and wholesalers. And if you think back to the 2022-23, the 23-24 update classes, whether you took general update or the BIC-up, we talked about flipping and wholesaling in the process. And we talked about the fact that many flippers, instead of actually taking possession of a property, instead they are actually doing an assignable contract. There are a couple of problems here. The assignable contract does not give that flipper permission to advertise and market the property to try to find another buyer. Typically the flipper, let's say the flipper buys the house for $100,000 and they want to go out and find somebody that's willing to pay $150,000 for it. That's the way that a lot of wholesalers and flippers will work. The problem with it is if you're advertising that property, if you are a licensee, the problem is you don't have a bona fide listing agreement, which means you don't have permission from the property owner to advertise and market that home. If you don't have a license, then you're practicing real estate without a license, and you could be subject to disciplinary action by the North Carolina Attorney General. So it's either a violation of license law or a violation of general statutes, both of which can get you in trouble. Now, the next piece of this is very important with home flippers and wholesalers. If a home buyer goes under contract on a property, whether it's assignable or not, and they don't have the ability to perform the contract, or they don't have the intent to perform the contract, that is an illegal contract. It's called illusory contract. And what it basically means is the person that's gone under contract has no intent or no ability to actually close the property. It's very simple. The assignor must have the intent to perform on the contract and the ability to perform on the contract when they initiate the agreement. If they don't have any intent to take possession of the property or don't have the ability to, then they're actually in violation of general statutes. There's going to be a lot more talk about this, folks. My good buddy Tom put it on his Facebook page, and enough conversation was had. I thought it was time for me to make a video. As always, if you haven't taken your continuing education classes, don't forget that deadline is June 10th every year. So make sure you check out brianpateseminars.com and click on courses to register for your courses for continuing education this year. Thanks for watching and have a great day.